Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. This week, we have Aaron Boone getting a pacemaker, fans and stadiums in California, and we're going to dip into the mailbag.
9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to another episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am Brad, and as per usual, I have Brig on my right side today.
Hello, Baseball Family. We're glad you're here.
We are glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate it. I think we have a good episode lined up. I think this is going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. So let's go ahead and get started so we can maximize our time in the mailbag. Brig, you ready?
I'm ready, Brad. Send it.
All right. Okay, we're going to start with some current events. First off, we have Aaron Boone needed to get a pacemaker. He got a pacemaker installed last week, and it seems like he's already about ready to go.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, he's up and running now. It's all indications. So, congratulations to Aaron Boone.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I just kind of skimmed the article about it, and one of the things he pointed out was, well, the coffee works.
Yeah.
So, hey,
yeah.
You know what? If the coffee's working for you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, things seem to be in working order. And, I had a basketball coach in middle school. It was actually my math teacher. He was one of the basketball coaches. He had a pacemaker, and he was still able to, really get fired up about the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about Aaron Boone being Aaron Boone, if you
Right.
will.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. He's pretty mellow. I mean, honestly, until Angel Hernandez behind the plate or whatever, everything's fine.
Well, let's be honest. He gets to all of us. So.
Yeah, exactly. At least he's not getting
normal.
told to sit down, right? Like sit down,
No, yeah.
sit down. Don't hurt yourself. Anyway,
Yeah.
pretty excited
so
about
good,
that.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Glad that he's back. I'm actually a big Aaron Boone fan.
What?
I am. I've always been a big fan of Aaron Boone. Kind of a random guy for me to like. I know, especially since I was cheering for the Red Sox both 03 and 04.
Oh, Brad.
But what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
I like the guy.
You
so
don't do
can't
that,
help
but you're glad you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh,
well,
man.
Anyway, Brig. So.
Should we move over to
California?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on over to California. So, with the way California's been with COVID, it has not been a great situation, to say the least.
No.
But they have come out and said that they're going to be allowing fans in at 20% capacity at those stadiums, which is a pretty big deal because you've got the Giants, A's, Angels, Dodgers, and Padres. Not missing anybody, right? You've got 5 teams.
No, that's Giants, A's, Angels, Dodgers, Padres. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, you got 5. That's a significant chunk. I mean, that's a whole division's worth.
For sure.
So I'm glad. I'm really happy they're going to be 20% capacity is not that much. And here's the caveat with it: only open to California residents.
Yeah, no, I really I was conflicted about that at first until I realized the brilliance of it. Like, you have to grow your base, right? You have to serve your base market. If you don't serve your base market, it won't be there. You can't rely on travel and that whole entertainment industry right now. So and hospitality, entertainment and hospitality. So this is a stroke of brilliance. There's going to be an area of exclusivity there, in addition to the limited seating capacity. So now you have a double whammy, and I think it's brilliant. I was thinking about that. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, and let me tell you what I was thinking about, Brig. What I was thinking about with that was, yes, it is good. If you're gonna have tickets, it needs to be open to the locals first.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's the big thing, I feel like. But also it cuts down on bringing in out-of-staters. The risk of bringing in people from other areas who might be bringing COVID with them and then taking it back with them even if they didn't bring it with them.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way.
Back. Say that if I wanted to go to a Padres game, You know, if I go to San Diego, I may not have it when I get there, but I might get it in San Diego and bring it back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And, you know, have a whole problem there. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, yes, it benefits the fan base. It benefits the locals. It's really good. But it also, I think it's, I don't know if it's primarily a safety thing, but I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
So
I like it a lot.
I know, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I think it's great. I'm glad that fans are going to get to be in the stadiums. I mean, just
At
the
all.
fact that anybody is going to be in the games at all.
Yeah.
Or at the games. Like, I've heard players during spring training saying, you know, it's great to have fans back. It's a whole lot more fun. Way better than playing in empty stadiums. And
Yeah.
I totally get that. Totally get it.
Okay, so question. In Los Angeles, how many paper airplanes are we going to see with this limited seating thing?
Well, I mean, 20%.
20%. Okay.
20% of, what, 100?
You got to do it in your
typical?
nerd voice, Brad, if you're going to come at us with statistics.
Well, Brig, it's simple mathematics. 20% of 100 is 20. So probably, I think you expect about anywhere between 20 and 200 possible paper airplanes in Los Angeles Stadium.
Whew.
I think I went too long with it there, but whatever.
It was great. Are you kidding me? I stopped listening halfway through, but I still loved it.
Oh, yeah, I did go too long. Anyway, all right, well, our transitions, man, my transitions tonight, I don't know.
We're going to
I don't know what it
stay
is,
in
but
Los Angeles, Brad. We're going to talk about David Price. He says he's he has no problem coming out of the bullpen in Los Angeles, and his whole thing is whatever they need to win, right? Whatever they need me to do, I want to be a team player. But tell me about that, Brad. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you see it all the time with guys who have started their whole careers. They do not want to go to the bullpen. They fight it tooth and nail. Felix Hernandez, he went to the bullpen for like a weekend, and then James Paxton got hurt, and he was back in the starting rotation. And he was not happy about being put in the bullpen during that, you know, like I said, weekend basically.
Right. Yeah.
And you see starting pitchers as they age, they lose that stamina. And it's the best place for them, but they're guys who've started their whole lives and they're competitors. They don't want to.
Yep.
They don't want to be taken down a notch. They don't want to be told they can't compete at a high level. So David Price saying, I'll come out of the bullpen if that's what's best for the team. This is somebody who I feel like has evolved into a team-first guy. And, you know, it's also a level of self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
That he knows he's not what he once was. That if this is what it takes to win, then dadgum, I'm going to go to the bullpen so we can win another title.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it's brilliant. I mean, it'll preserve his career. It'll preserve his marketability. You know, I mean, all of the above.
It definitely will. It really will. And, I mean, come on. You've got that pitching staff.
Man.
And you don't really need David Price in there.
No, and that's what that's what I'm saying. His longevity goes up, but also like his longevity on the team, right? With the club on the roster, because if he's like, I'll find a spot because they don't need him, like you said, I think it's brilliant. Everybody wins.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah, and I do think they will be more dangerous with David Price coming out of the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. And if he only has to face 3 minimum, right? Three batter minimum, or to retire the side, then that might be all you get out of him some days. Let's be honest.
Well, and honestly, if I'm down in the 6th, 7th innings, I don't want to see David Price coming out of the bullpen.
No, because that's going to be rough.
Yeah, middle reliever, setup man. I don't want to see that guy coming out. So,
nope.
So it just gives them one more weapon and makes them that much better. I think it's good on him. Good on him for the self-awareness.
So we're going to switch again. We're staying in California because it's where we're going, and it's just going to move south a little bit. Albert Pujols is older than he says he is. Apparently, he is officially listed at 41, but according to a bunch of roundabout math and a bunch of circumstantial evidence, he might actually be 44. All I can think of is the scene in Benchwarmers when the dude comes with the goatee, he comes out and they hand the umpire a piece of paper with his picture and in green crayon it says, "I'm 12."
He's got documentation.
And he says, "I'm 12." There's a $20 bill in there or whatever. Oh my goodness. So this is not the first time his age has been called into question, and it's certainly not the first time anybody else's age has been called into question, especially if they're from the Dominican or if they're Cuban or whatever, right? Like, records are not exactly kept very well, and there's a lot you can do, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't Miguel Tejada when he was playing with the A's, I think.
I think it was the
he was
A's.
like... Yeah, I think he said he was 32, but he's really 34.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, Brad, tell us why this 3 year difference is such a big deal.
Okay, think about this for a minute. You've got a kid who's 18 years old, and he shows up to a tryout, and he's got exit velos around 105, or he's pitching at 102, 103. 18 years old. Okay? Value that against a 16-year-old, same body, same size, same exit velos or throwing velocity. Who are you going to give more money to?
The kid with more longevity.
The 16-year-old.
Right, the kid who can last longer.
You're going to pick him over the 8? Yeah, because you can bring him into your system, and you can have him in the minor leagues for 3 years. He comes in, he's big league ready at 19 instead of 21. Yeah. And then you can either sign him to a long-term deal at 23, 24. You sign him to a 10-year deal, he's 33, 34, as opposed to the kid who was 18 at the time. You know, he's 35, 36 instead.
Yeah.
When that contract is up. So I get it. It makes perfect sense to me why it happens. But you said that the Angels said they knew.
Yeah, so
right?
Apparently everybody knows and has always known. Or at least that's what they're saying. And what is so funny is that the Angels said, I don't remember who the quote was from, but apparently the Angels said, yeah, we don't care. We knew we didn't care. We knew we were not going to get anything out of him in 2019, 2020, and 2021. And we signed him on that deal anyway. And I thought, oh my God, why?
Well, I mean, at the time when he came over, the Angels were contending.
Yes.
Right? Like that was because who was they brought over from the Rangers pretty much the same weekend as Pujols? I want to say it was like Dan Herron.
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember exactly who it was off the top of my head, but it was somebody who had been a major contributor for the Rangers when they were really good. Mm-hmm. It's a really good pitcher. C.J. Wilson. That's who it was. C.J. Wilson. So he actually signed with the Angels because he was told that there was a legitimate possibility of Albert Pujols coming. So he signed in hopes of that happening, and then it did. Because he was with his agent, he was with an executive, and they said, well, I can't tell you. He said, it's Pujols. It's Albert Pujols. And they said, I can't tell you. So then he signed.
He's smacking his foot on the ground like, I can't say.
Exactly. Right. But they brought him over because they thought they could put together a winning team. And they had a good team. I mean, they brought over Josh Hamilton. You know, they overpaid him, and he ended up being a bust because of several reasons. But then that was about the time Mike Trout came up, too.
And they were planning on it, yeah.
You know,
well, and honestly, Albert Pujols hasn't been a bust. You can't say, oh, my gosh, like we wasted all this money and everything.
Oh, right.
No way.
No. Yeah, no. I wasn't saying he was the bust.
No, and I just think that, you know, when you factor it in, you're like, you know, you're getting an older guy. You know his production's going to go down or whatever. It's still Albert Pujols. Mm-hmm. He's still phenomenal. You know what I mean? He still is a contributing member of this team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And like I said, when they got him, he was going to be like the MVP who was going to lead this team to a World Series. And I feel like when they were putting that team together, they were doing everything right.
Totally.
You know,
just had management issues.
I feel like they put all the pieces in place. Yeah, and ultimately, I think it was pitching again that did them in, which has never seemed to recover.
But it's still par for the course in Anaheim.
Yes, it is.
It's a rough deal.
Continues to
It's a rough deal.
It is. It is.
All right, baseball family, we're going to...
Let's take a quick
yes! Yes!
When we get back, we're going to jump into the mailbag.
I'm Jason.
And I'm David, and we're the hosts of the Non-North Sports Podcast. We're the home of sports talk for everyone. Join us bi-weekly as we talk about the happenings in sports.
You can find the Non-North Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever else you find your podcasts.
Welcome back, baseball family. We are going to dip deep into the mailbag. We have had a ton of questions come through. We're really excited about some of them. And we're going to be honest, some of the questions were so good, we have got to save them to be their own segments later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, man, we have been blown away by the quality of the questions coming through. And Brad, before we get into the questions, you want to remind everybody why we're doing what the giveaway we're doing with this?
I would love to. Okay, so the reason we did this big mailbag thing was because we are giving away a Rays sampler pack. Today I'm drinking their brand new flavor that came out last week officially. It's Rays South Beach. It tastes kind of like a bag of purple Skittles, which, if you ask me, where it's at. It's really good.
The tropical Skittles.
it's really good, Brig.
Man, I gotta get in on that.
Yeah, you need to get you some because it's delicious. But so our winner was actually Alexander Trout. He dove into the mailbag and sent us a couple questions. Let's start with one of his. So his first question is, what do you guys do for work? So Brig, why don't you tell him first, what do you do for work? Because I feel like your job is way more exciting than mine is.
I don't know about that. It's a really exciting question, though. So I work my day job. So what I do for money? No, that's what. So I work for a veteran nonprofit organization here, and I am the employment program manager. So what that means is it's a bunch of workforce development work, casework, stuff like that to help veterans improve their resumes, get their LinkedIn profiles ready to go, anything they can do to help improve their job search and the overall strategy and marketability for them looking for their career or just a job, depending on the situation they're in. I'm also charged with unifying community partnerships across the entire upstate. So we want to make sure that, and I don't do this alone, right? I have a team, and the whole organization gets behind it. But I'm supposed to have eyes on the whole thing and make sure that all the people in the upstate that do veteran employment in some way, that we are unified and caught them all on the same page. So there's a lot of committee meetings and things like that. And then the largest chunk of my job is corporate liaison. So I do a lot of advocacy building in the community and making sure that, when jobs come available, we know about them so we can present them to our veterans who are seeking employment very quickly. Some companies offer veteran preferences, and, we negotiate that as well, things like that. So event planning and, there's a lot to it, but that's what I do. That's my day job.
It's pretty involved.
Brad, what's your day job?
Well, I work in digital marketing, and right now I am a full-time freelance copywriter. That's all there is to it. I write web content and blogs for many, many different companies. So.
Yeah, but you're really good at it, Brad.
Oh, I'm all right. I mean, I'm good enough at it for them to pay me, but there are times that I send something off and I'm like, well, I'm probably going to have to rewrite that. But fortunately, I've never had to do that.
But that's writing. You've never had to. Oh, see, the truth comes out now. I'm going to have to rewrite that. This is terrific. You're glad your standards are lower than mine.
That's really what it comes to. It's like there's sometimes I'm just like, they really don't care because nobody's really going to read it because it's just there for search engine optimization. Like, if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. That's what they're going to get from me, and I'm okay with that. Well, so
that's pretty terrific.
It is. All right,
next question.
But anyway, next question.
So Alexander Trout, though, he won.
Mm-hmm. He's our winner. Congratulations.
He was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Alexander. We're pumped for you, man.
Yeah.
All right. The next question comes from Tim Jensen. All right.
Okay.
He wants to know what first made us decide to podcast.
That is a pretty layered question, I feel like, but let's make it short.
There's a lot to it. Yeah. Let's simplify.
So, I was helping Brig out with the website with the shop when it first came on, and I had done actually a lot of research that found that podcasts were, and honestly, like Brig had suggested earlier on, eventually we'll do a podcast, and I had done a lot of research that said that podcasts are great for your website, great for your business. So I said, you know what, now might be the time to do it. And Brig, do you remember what your response was?
No. Do you?
I do. I specifically remember because I was so caught off guard. You said, okay, well, what's stopping us? And I said, well, I don't have a very good microphone. And you said, well, we can deal with that later. Let's start now. And within, 10 days, we had released our first episode?
That's right. It was 10 days later. So I had gone on I was a guest presenter on a podcast that's no longer active. It's called The Patriotic Father. And I saw my friend's setup, and I thought this is just not that hard, right? Like, little did I know I was completely wrong. I had severely undervalued the amount of time and effort and work and equipment and everything that goes into it. But I said, I think I came home from that interview that night and went, all right, we got to do this. Like, we can do this. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's what happened. You're right. It was like a week later we were rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Well, and for me too, like when you suggested initially the podcast, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm on board because I did one as a project when I was in college. It was like my graduation project. I did one for a semester, and I had a blast doing it. I had a ton of fun. And so I'd just been looking for an opportunity to do one. And when you said that, I was like, Brig, I know how to do it. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, I kept going back to all of our. So I used to do. Brad had a blog called Stitched Thrones, which was light baseball reading for when you're on the throne, right?
Yeah.
And he was my sports editor at the student newspaper in college, and we were both in the journalism program. And I said to him, "I'm taking pictures anyway, man. Why don't you publish?" And I was thinking, yeah, I'll get another clipping, right? I'll get another Photo J credit on my portfolio. I'm like, dude, you want to put my stuff on your blog, man? You were like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, because I've been taking pixels of baseballs and bats in my grass up to that point.
Right.
Trying to take generic photos, and you only find so much on Pexels and Unsplash and stuff. So when you sent me the stuff that you had sent, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I still have them all on my computer. So.
Oh, sweet.
So we'll be using
that got us talking about baseball, and then we started gushing about baseball, right? Like, oh, and this is what's magical about it. No, and then this is what. Anyway, that's like way back, but
yeah, it's a long time ago now that I look back, but yeah, that's what got us into the podcast, and here we are.
That's where it all got started. Yeah.
All right, here's one.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. That's a great question. Here is one from Nate Moore. Says, which of the new rules or rules that began in 2020 are good for the sport? Brig, I feel like you have more, stronger opinions about this than I do. What do you think is good for the sport?
Yes. Okay. I've been thinking about this one, and it's really hard for me to choose any of them as good for the sport. But if I had to say, I think that the 7-inning doubleheaders probably make as much sense to me as anything. And that's because it's less wear and tear on the team, and on Saturday, Sunday afternoons and stuff like that, it's the perfect length. I mean, let's be honest, it's a great length, especially if you have kids like we do. They don't want to hang out
right
the whole time, and then they're like, dad, let's go to the kids park, or let's go buy freaking another thing of ice cream or whatever, and you're not watching the game anymore anyway. So anyway, I think that one rule probably is good for the sport.
And I have to agree with you, for all those exact same reasons. That is the one that out of everything, I don't want to say good for the sport, but I'd say out of all of them, it's the best for the sport out of the possibilities.
Right.
I mean, I do like universal DH. I'll say that I actually do like it better than the 7-inning doubleheader because I feel like I said before, the 7-inning doubleheader is a slippery slope, and universal DH creates free agency, like more of a level playing field for more of a level playing field for free agency because you've got guys who can play in American League and National League, and when it comes to scheduling, it just makes sense that you have a rule that's universal across the league instead of being like pitchers, because guys get to the point where they're not even sure what city they're in when they're traveling. If you're going from an American League park to a National League park, pitchers might be like, so am I pitching today? Am I hitting today? I'm not sure.
Right.
And I know there's more that goes into it than that, but still, I want my guys to know that they can come to the park every single day and they know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what to expect tomorrow and the day after, even though they're probably only looking at today. But, the continuity. Baseball is such a sport of creatures of, like baseball players are such creatures of habit that I don't want my pitchers to be like, well, I hit last week, but I'm not hitting this week. So, and then next week I'm hitting again. It's going to screw up my routine because I have to take batting practice, So that's why I like it. But anyway.
Yeah. Whiners. Okay. I'll blow a raspberry at you later. All right.
That's just fine.
So Mike Farnes has a question. He wants to know what our favorite baseball player nicknames are and why.
Okay. Mine is my favorite one because I actually did a lot of research on this a while ago because I was going to do, like you said, my old blog, Stitched Thrones. I was actually going to do a post about this. Because I spend a whole lot of time on Baseball Reference just looking at random stuff. Like when I was doing that, just doing random research. And honestly, my favorite name that I came across was Egyptian Healy. That's the name that he is under on Baseball Reference. That's the name he's known as for a player kind of like Chipper Jones.
Yeah.
His actual name is... John J. Healy, but they call him Egyptian because he's born in Cairo, Illinois.
That's a great answer.
I thought that was so funny, so random that there was this guy that they gave him his nickname based on where he was born rather than anything to do with his name. So so that's my favorite nickname. What's yours, Brig?
Do you have a favorite current player nickname?
Probably Francisco Lindor or Javi Baez. Francisco Lindor, they call him Mr. Smile. Mm-hmm. And Javi Baez, I think El Mago is such a great nickname, especially for him.
So you stole mine. El Mago is my favorite current player nickname. Nice. Runner up only by Polar Bear, Pete Alonso.
Polar Bear Pete, yeah.
I think that's a killer nickname, man. It writes itself. Like that, all the marketing and everything. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. So those are my two favorite current ones. But my favorite of all time is actually Thurman Munson's, one of his many nicknames. It's the Squatty Body.
The Squatty Body.
I just think for such a talented player, for such a guy who's such a force to be reckoned with, right? He for him to have such a sissy nickname like that is so funny to me. With the mustache, and he just was brooding, behind the plate. I just think, what a better guy. But it's a fun nickname, and it's family friendly, but kind of funny anyway. So I think that's my favorite one.
Nice. And of course, there's obviously the Babe and his millions of nicknames.
That wimpy deer.
Yeah, that might be my favorite of all his nicknames. Thank you to the Sandlot, that wimpy deer.
Yes. The Colossus of Clout.
The Colossus of Clout.
Yes, right. Brad, did you know you're one of the only people in my whole life that will actually do that correctly?
Honestly, if I'm with somebody and I say it and they don't say it again, I'll say it again anyway.
Yeah, me too. That's what I do. Or after a pause where I look at them like, ugh. Like nobody in this group is with fine. I do. I wrestle with contempt and I try to muscle it down.
So funny. Oh goodness.
Oh man.
All right, Brig. Let's go with another one from Alexander Trout.
Yeah.
If you could,
We had a
get
lot of people
job,
submit multiple questions, so this is
Yes,
good.
yeah. If you could get a job in baseball, what would it be? What job would you want to have, Brig?
Well, that's a tough question. There are a lot of great jobs in baseball. I think. Now, are we talking like that I could slide into right now, and maybe be okay at? Maybe, probably not. But I'm willing to go back to school. I'm willing to, whatever it takes to get there. What is that? What you're talking about?
Let's do that. If you had chosen your career path from a young age and you did everything with that in mind, and you're
Okay.
at your current age,
Okay, I would be a physical therapist. I'd be a sports physical therapist.
oh,
And my job would be to help recover from injury, and optimize performance, and teach nutrition, and teach body mechanics, and teach all that kind of stuff to really like dissect what is wrong, optimize the system. I think that's what I would do. Right. I want people. I would want the players to come to me when there was a problem, knowing that I was their best chance of figuring it out.
would you want to be like the off-site physical therapist, or would you want to be the athletic trainer who hangs out in the dugout during the game?
Oh no, I want to be on field. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think there's more
Right on.
pressure there for sure. Right.
Well,
Like,
definitely. Yeah.
huge. But at
You
the
know-
same time, I mean, your the ability to make an impact is also way greater
Yes.
in
Yeah,
the
it
moment.
definitely
You're
is.
watching what's going on, and you're like, "Oh, I saw him. Yeah, we've been working on that, and he just did it again, or whatever."
Yeah, and that was actually what I wanted to do for a long time. I wanted to
Yeah.
be an athletic trainer and specialize in baseball, like work for a baseball or a basketball team.
Yeah.
But then, I can't remember who it was. Somebody broke their ankle sliding into third base. And I was like, I might be better off in an office. Not so much on the field. Because I couldn't handle it.
Wrap that up and then come to me with your problems.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'll help you get back to where you were, but I'm not going to do anything in between. So you can have that. And, yeah. No, I'm not one for first aid. I'm sorry to anybody who might cross my path, but
Do not get in a car wreck in front of me. I'm not helping.
it's true. It's true. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
So, okay, what's your answer, Brad? What if you could dedicate your career going back, what would you do?
I'd be a GM.
Really?
Yeah, I'd want to be a GM because first off, I love puzzles. Like,
Yeah.
love them. And I feel like putting a baseball team together, putting a successful baseball team together is like doing a great big puzzle that you have a budget with. Like anytime I play fantasy sports, I'm there for the draft. Like I could not care less what happens in the season. I could finish last and go over. Like, well, I guess I should have drafted better, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I would love to be a GM. I think that would be an awesome job. Unfortunately, I like to sleep more than those guys do, so I don't know how good I would be at it, especially around the trade deadline. But,
Yeah. No, for real.
yeah. But no, that would be my job in baseball.
Okay, we're gonna pivot though. If somebody said to you, Brad, you can have any job in baseball you want right now, and you have 3 years to prove yourself, what would it be?
I would probably be a team reporter. Like work
Okay.
for the team and be a reporter. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I feel like that's something I actually have an aptitude for,
Yeah.
and I could do this, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
talk about the team all the time and then go get to know the players, which that's the reason I got into sports journalism, because I did not go to journalism school to go work for CNN or the New York Times. I went to journalism school because I wanted to be a sports writer. I wanted to get into podcasting. I wanted to learn how to do that, and I wanted to be a sports writer. I wanted to cover baseball. Like that's why I went to school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that is like, if I had that opportunity, that's what I would do. What about you?
I would do play-by-play.
Oh, nice.
I'd be calling
radio
games.
or TV.
Radio.
Oh, I don't know
Yep.
why I asked. I know the answer to that question.
Yeah. No, I'd be doing radio play-by-play. In fact, I've looked into it heavily, actually, and I think that within 3 years I could probably get to where I needed to be. The schedule is just awful, though. I mean, it is brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that.
I remember. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was my one deterrent with the whole family dynamic, and trying to figure that out. But I think I would love every minute of it.
You would. You totally would. And that's the thing. Like, I've talked before about how I worked for the Ormals, the former rookie league team now for the Angels.
Yeah.
But they, I worked really closely with the radio guy. I was basically his intern because I helped him with all the stuff he needed to do on game day, and I worked with him to do like media stuff with the team. But I did not want the schedule that he had because he was there. And granted, he didn't have anybody to go home to at night; like it was just him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting my stuff done after games and heading out maybe an hour after the game was over, and he was still just hanging out in the office, just like, well,
Wow.
I'm just going to leave when everybody else leaves because then I have a chance to talk to guys for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
You know, that he took an extra opportunity to get to know guys a little bit more and find out more stuff for the radio broadcast. And he would travel with the team. He liked to write the game story on the road games just because he was there and I didn't actually get to watch them.
Yeah.
But he would have me do them on getaway days on the road trip. So if they were gone for a week and they were traveling on like Tuesday night and Friday night or whatever, he'd have me write those. He's like, because I just don't have time and I'm not going to do it on the bus at 2:00 in the morning. You know?
Right. Exactly.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. So
No,
I did not envy him at all, but I thought it was a cool job.
There's back before I got the job I have now, I was really trying to figure out what career path I wanted to take. And I know you and I talked about all these different options. And one of them, I wanted to be an umpire. I almost went to umpire school.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I looked into that really, really heavily. And then since I moved here, I found out that the Greenville Drives play-by-play guy has been doing it forever. And I thought, and he's doing it by himself. It's a solo show. At least it was a couple of years ago when I moved here. And I thought, wow, I wonder if I could get in. And this is what I decided. I'm going to get in and do feature stories for them. So I got some press credentials to go down on the field and behind the scenes and start doing interviews with the players and the staff and everything and doing feature stories for the team. And then I was going to work my way into being this guy's color commentator and then hopefully assume his position. You know, and I had like a 4-year plan to get this guy's job. And
coming for you.
He's been doing it, I mean, in a couple of different markets for a couple of different teams. Anyway, I just think it would be neat, just nifty to be the voice of something like that would be tops for me.
That is cool. That would be really cool to be like the guy.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But hey, before we get into our next question, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we get back, more mailbag.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+ Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. We're going to wrap things up here with the last little bit of stuff from the mailbag. Okay, this one's interesting. This is from Sarah Davis. What is the greatest country song of all time, Brig?
Well, okay, hold on. Context alert.
Okay.
So when I saw this question come through, I giggled my little pants off because I know that Brad, the closest Brad has ever gotten to listen to country music is Blink-182.
You're not
Let's
wrong.
be completely honest.
You're not wrong.
Oh, man, I know. I know it.
I will be honest. I'll be honest. I'm not going to tell you when it was because that will be obvious when I give you the song. But I did go through a small country phase at one point.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Okay.
I cannot wait to reveal that.
Okay. But you go first.
So this is tough though, man. This is like not an easy question to answer. I love country music, and so I got my favorites, right? I got contradictory favorites. Like people think like I have unpopular favorites. And so I thought, well, Tennessee Whiskey is a terrific song. Devil Went Down to Georgia is iconic, right?
Yeah.
Anything by Alabama is fabulous. Then there's Johnny Cash. You got to go all the way back. Johnny Cash, duh. But I honestly feel like the greatest country song of all time is Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks.
Okay.
It's the most country song that is also appealing to people who don't like country music, right? It transcends country music, but it is also like epitomizes country music. I think that's why it's the greatest country song of all time.
Okay. All right, Brig, are you ready for mine?
Yeah.
So I went through a small country phase when I was younger, and because of that, I still believe that this is the greatest country song of all time. I had to bite my finger when you said Friends in Low Places because I totally agree with you.
Yes!
100%.
Yes!
That is the greatest country song ever made.
Ever. And listen, how is it that on a completely unrelated, like, not even a baseball question, we overlapped again? This is unheard of. We are on a roll, dude.
I can't believe that. Brig,
Knock
I'm
on
telling
wood.
You,
rub your rabbit's foot. Turn around 3 times.
you got to go back and watch on YouTube my response to that, just so you know, Brig. Just because, legit. Like, I'm not kidding you. That is, in my opinion, the greatest and only really good country song ever made.
Oh, I don't know. The only really good. But yes, it's the greatest of all time. That's amazing.
So
Sarah, great question. Holy moly. That magic happened here.
There was magic indeed.
Ooh, boy.
Oh,
all
my
right.
gosh. That's so funny. And for those who don't know, I'm just going to follow up real quick. I have actually described on the podcast, on the episode where we talked walk-up music, I'm well aware that the music that I listen to, most people would quantify as crap. I'm fine with that. I like a lot of punk. I like a lot of like hard rock, like not quite like Slayer heavy metal, but like Escape the Fate is one of my favorite bands. Like I really like that.
Avenged Sevenfold would fit that category.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, like some of the harder stuff.
Yeah.
And I know it's not for everybody, but I enjoy it. It actually relaxes me. So
Yeah, well.
that's why I don't listen to country music.
You also drink a Raise and then go to bed.
It's true. I do.
You got more than one weird, Brad.
I'll drink a Diet Mountain Dew, like sitting in bed, and then lay down and go right to sleep. So
Oh my god.
that's a true story.
You ever heard of water? It's pretty good.
Doesn't taste very good. Anyway.
I know you don't like water. I got it. I know. Okay.
Okay.
Brad, do you follow any other sports as closely as you follow baseball? That's from Tim Jensen. He wants to know that.
So since we started doing the podcast, no, I don't follow anything as close as I follow baseball. Just because I feel like I need to be like top shelf informed. So I'm like hyper focused on baseball. However, my second love in my life was basketball. I grew up playing basketball, like mostly as conditioning, so I was in shape for when it came baseball season. But I love basketball. I love playing it. Love watching it. Huge Portland Trailblazers fan. Like that is the next like baseball, and then like maybe 10 feet down is basketball, and then after that's football and whatever. But like the NBA, I love the NBA so much.
Great.
What about you, Brig?
The same question. I don't follow anything as closely as I follow baseball. The next closest for me is boxing. I would say I follow boxing more closely
Yeah.
than anything else, second to baseball. Like the Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight, I like died when I heard that was coming on. And we had a big party. We did a bonfire out in the backyard. I did the projector onto the back of the house. Like we pulled out all the stops. I have an island in my kitchen, and we wrapped it in cardboard and tin foil, and then did nachos, and then drizzled it with cheese, and it was Nacho Island.
That's the way to do it.
So I'm into boxing, but at the same time, not even close to as much as I follow baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
True story.
All right. This is, let's do another one from Sarah Davis. Is this the last one?
Yeah. I think it's the last one.
Okay.
This is
a doozy. This is a good one. In your opinion, who has the best butt in baseball? I feel like, I'll be honest with you, Brig, I'm going to let you answer first, but I feel like there is only one correct answer to this. And I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. Go ahead.
Well, I'm even more deeply uncomfortable than I was
beforehand.
Because now there's the threat of being wrong. I didn't see that coming. What do you mean there's only one acceptable answer?
I'll explain it to you, but go ahead and give me your wrong answer.
Oh, my goodness sakes. I don't even know how to answer this question. All right, so talking about, it's got to be a catcher. It has to be. I don't know why. I just made that up.
You would think, and honestly, like while I was going through, I was like, probably a catcher because they're doing squats the whole game. That's gonna help.
All the time.
But yeah.
So if that's the case, I gotta go with Yadi Molina.
Okay. Now that was my first thought.
I don't know why.
That was my first thought because the dude's been at it forever, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So he's gonna have a nice butt. I'll be honest.
Thanks for backing me up on this play here.
Yeah, no. But the correct answer, Brig,
okay,
is Vlad Guerrero Jr.
What?
Because he got his dad's booty.
He got his dad's swing too.
He does, yeah. Like there is so much from his dad going into that, like the swing.
Yeah.
And part of the reason he has so much power as he does is he's got his dad's booty. And I don't know that that's something I ever would have noticed before I married my wife, because he was Vlad Guerrero. Vlad Guerrero was one of her favorite players. And that was
right.
why.
No, for sure.
That was why.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because Vlad's big old butt. And so, yeah. That was actually, honestly, the first time I saw a picture of him, I looked. Like, because that was something we were talking about. She's like, does he have his dad's butt? I'm like, I don't know, let's take a look. So we checked, and sure enough, he's got his dad's butt.
Sure enough.
And that's where the power comes from.
I'm
so
kind
why
of...
not?
It's interesting that neither of us went with Yelich after he did the episode or the magazine shoot. Didn't even think about that till just now.
Well, I mean, there was Yelich and there was Harper who did that with ESPN.
Oh yeah, Harper did that too, didn't he? Bam Bam.
Yeah.
That's his nickname, by the way. Bam Bam.
It is. It's a great nickname. I love it.
It is a great nickname. Who's Pebbles in this situation? That's what I want to know. Who's
I would
Pebbles?
think his wife would probably be Pebbles.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, they were siblings though.
No, they weren't.
Pebbles and Bam Bam? Were they not siblings?
No. Pebbles was Barney and... No, Pebbles was Fred and Wilma.
Fred and Wilma. Okay.
And then Bam Bam was Barney
Bam Bam was Barney and...
Betty?
What's her name?
Yeah, Betty. Barney and Betty Rubble.
Yeah, I think it is Betty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and on
They
that
were betrothed.
note, because
They were
we've
betrothed.
since dated ourselves dramatically. We went back to Vlad Sr. and Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Sarah, this is how uncomfortable this question made us. We're grasping for straws. We're like, anything.
Talk Flintstones. We'll talk Flintstones. But with that, Brig, do you want to wrap
Hadn't
this
had a
up?
multivitamin in years.
It's chewable. I mean, it's good. It's good.
They were terrific.
You want to wrap
That's
this up,
why I
Brig?
like chalk candy. Yeah. Okay. All right, baseball family, we're glad you joined us today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mailbag. We love doing mailbag episodes. We have a lot more questions to get to next time, but we want to hear from you. So jump in the mailbag at baseballtogether.com. We want to hear questions, comments, snide remarks, whatever it is that you got for us that you want us to answer. I hope you found that in this episode, we'll answer pretty much anything. So jump in there and submit. Maybe we'll do another giveaway next time. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But
Yeah, we'll see.
this was fun. Congratulations to Alexander Trout on winning this one.
For sure. And don't forget to stop by 9plusus.com. Spell it out, NINEPLUS.com. Today I've got my my hot dog shirt. A hot dog at the ballpark is better than a steak at the Ritz. And I've got my NC Dino nod hat on. Real quick, I forgot to mention this. I'm going to be at the Mariners and Diamondbacks game next Monday, the 15th. Yeah, the 15th at Peoria Sports Complex. If you're there, if you already, I mean, yeah, pretty much you have to have already have to have your tickets. But if you're going to be there, come find me. I'll be out in the left field berm with Wilson, with my son, and we'll get you a hot dog or something. I don't know. But
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
come say hi. But don't,
Don't
forget
to like, comment,
Yes.
rate, and review. I think Apple is the only place you can actually leave a starred review, correct?
I think other apps will let you leave some kind of starred review, but I think Apple is where you can actually leave like a text review, like where you can say,
Yeah.
you know, this is why I don't like these guys, or this is why I do like
Oh,
them.
hey, now. Hey, whoa. Easy. You can also do that on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can put a comment in the doobly-doo, and we'll be able to respond to those. And hopefully they're not all spam at this point, but they mostly are, and that's pretty cool. So we accept the love in whatever form or fashion. You can also submit to the mailbag in the doobly-doo on YouTube. That would be an acceptable use of the doobly-doo.
It would be. We always see those. We see all of those,
Every one of them, man.
including the spam, especially. But
Yeah.
baseball family, it's been great. Thank you for your submissions to the mailbag, and we will catch you next week.